U.S. Ambassador to Korea Mark Lippert returned home from the hospital Tuesday, thanking the Korean people for their support. Samsung Group explains how it will pay the massive inheritance fees levied on Chairman Lee Kun-hee's transfer of assets and managerial rights to his children. And lawmaker Kim Young-nan, the namesake of the controversial anti-corruption law, speaks out, saying she regrets that parts of the new bill stray from the original draft. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, March 11th. I'm Luke Clary. U.S. Ambassador to Korea Mark Lippert was discharged from the hospital Tuesday, where he was treated following a knife attack last week. He thanked the Korean people for their support and cited the Korean saying, "The land hardens after the rain," to express his state of mind.
Hey everybody, good to see you.
U.S. Ambassador to Korea Mark Lippert made a public appearance 5 days after he was hospitalized for injuries he sustained in a knife attack. Skin regeneration bandage was applied on his face where stitches have been removed. His left arm, resorting to a splint, still looked uncomfortable, but the ambassador asked to hold a news conference to express his gratitude.
I want to express my profound gratitude to those Koreans and Americans alike who so bravely and selflessly responded to the scene of the attack, and to the medical teams that delivered world-class treatment.
He also mentioned well-wishing messages posted on his blog, saying he was touched by the support from the Korean people.
And Robin and I will never forget that you came to support us during this time of need. Beyond 되에 땅이 굳어진다. 같이 갑시다.
Regarding his health, he said he feels really good and wants to return to work as soon as possible. He waved at Korean citizens congratulating his hospital discharge before getting into the car heading to the embassy, where he will now receive his medical treatment.
Samsung Group has completed an internal review on the inheritance tax for Chairman Lee Kun-hee's transfer of assets and managerial rights to his children. The controversy over the issue remains, even as the conglomerate explains how the family would pay all taxes levied in full.
Samsung Group Chairman Lee Kun-hee, who's currently hospitalized, holds shares worth nearly $9.8 billion in Samsung Electronics and Samsung Life Insurance. A high-ranking Samsung official says that Lee's children will have to pay an inheritance tax of about $4.4 to $5.3 billion for control of their father's assets and corporate duties. The official added that the family plans to pay the tax in full. The remarks mean that Lee's family will not evade taxes through shady methods such as donating money to nonprofits and charity organizations, measures Samsung founder Lee Byung-chul employed when transferring his wealth to his son Kun-hee in the past. It's also highly likely that they'll pay the tax in installments. This is the first time Samsung Group has revealed the detailed amount of the inheritance tax and plans on how to pay it. How will the Samsung chairman's children secure funds to pay the tax, estimated at up to $5.3 billion? It's likely that they will sell their stakes in Samsung SDS and Jail Industries, but a Samsung official said that nothing has been finalized. Regarding Chairman Lee Kun-hee's health, a Samsung official said that he has recovered to a point where he can sit in a wheelchair.
Former chief of the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission, Kim Young-nan, is the namesake of the new controversial anti-corruption law. She's spoken out to express regret that parts of the new bill passed in Parliament strayed away from the original draft.
Speaking Tuesday, former chief of the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission Kim Young-nan said that she was surprised to find out that journalists and private school staff were also included among those subject to the anti-corruption law. But she says she does not consider this change as excessive legislation or being unconstitutional. However, she added that special measures are necessary to protect the freedom of speech.
그 범위와 속도 방법의 문제는 또 따로 사회적 합의를 도출해 나가야 된다. 이렇게 생각하고 있습니다.
She also expressed strong regret over the law having excluded provisions on preventing so-called conflict of interests. This would have banned family members and relatives from engaging in interest-based work relations. She also criticized certain exceptions made to the definition of illegal favors that were not in the original draft, such as lawmakers relaying civil petitions from a third party.
국회의원 등 선출직 공무원들을 브로커처럼 활용할 수도 있는 그런 브로커 현상을 용인하는 결과를 초래할 수도 있습니다.
Following Kim's statement, political parties responded by saying they respect her opinion and promised to hold more talks regarding the conflict of interest clause in Parliament.
The heart of the government's economic policy is to boost domestic consumption, but the economy has not gained steam as the government planned, since even those in their 50s with higher incomes are tightening their belts. Here's the story.
54-year-old Hwang Nam-jun works for a venture company. He manages to make ends meet every month, spending some $1,800 on his children's education and about $445 for his mortgage payments. As a last resort, he cut back his spending on cultural activities like watching movies or eating out from roughly $26 to $44. It's because he has to make financial preparations for his post-retirement life.
오늘 내일 퇴직하는 친구들도 있고 아무 대비 없이 그냥 내몰리는 친구들도 있다고 왔었을 때라면 먹는 거, 입는 거, 기본적인 거 외에는 다 줄이게 됩니다.
South Koreans' life expectancy stands at 81.3 years, the 13th longest among 32 OECD member nations. However, South Korea ranks near the bottom at 30th in terms of investments in pension for life after retirement. Due to concerns over post-retirement life, consumer spending in South Korea dropped drastically last year, especially among those in their 50s. The average monthly income per household of those in their 50s is nearly $4,400. However, they are tightening their belts and reluctant to spend money. Sluggish domestic consumption can only be stimulated when middle-aged people's concerns about post-retirement life are eased. Some of the ways to do that is to extend the retirement age and create jobs for retirees as Korea becomes an aging society.
Many people suffer from sleeping disorders such as insomnia. A natural substance extracted from a type of algae has been found to have sleep-enhancing effects, but with few of the side effects that are found in other sleeping pills made with chemical ingredients.
Choi Don-suk, a housewife in her 40s, hasn't been sleeping well for 6 years. It's hard for her to fall asleep, but when she does, she frequently finds herself waking up in the middle of the night.
늘 피곤해요. 피곤하고 삶을 아무래도 좀 무기력해지죠. 피곤하다 보니까 이제 모든 게 의욕이 떨어지죠.
Researchers at the Korea Food Research Institute have discovered that fluorotannins extracted from a type of algae called Eclonia cava, or kamtae in Korean, helps to improve the quality of sleep by repressing the stimulation of the central nervous system. 500 milligrams of the extract were administered to 10 sleep disorder patients every day for 1 week. After a week, the time they were awake during sleep hours had gone down sharply.
깨어있는 뇌파가 줄어들면 깊은 잠이 유도될 수 있는 뇌파로 변형이 되기 때문에 깊은 잠을 잘 수 있는 찬스가 늘어났다고 이해하시면 될 것 같습니다.
The Food and Drug Safety Ministry, recognizing the kamtae extract as a health supplement with sleep-enhancing effects, has permitted its sale across the nation.
At the National Assembly, KBS has installed facilities that offer real-time views of South Korea's easternmost Dokdo islets around the clock throughout the year. Here's some close-ups of Dokdo. Let's take a look.
Participants burst into joy as scenes of the Dokdo Islets appear on the screen. A monitoring center has been set up at the National Assembly, offering real-time views of Dokdo around the clock. KBS's high-definition cameras photograph and record the rocky outcroppings, flying birds, waves, and winds. The vivid images are transmitted via satellite.
대표가 모이는 이곳에 바로 이 실시간으로 독도를 볼 수 있게끔 해준 것은 저는 깊은 뜻이 있다고 생각합니다.
The facility will show KBS programs about Dokdo and offer various materials on the islet's geography, ecology, and history. For accessibility by the public, monitors were installed at 3 locations inside the National Assembly.
우리 영토인 독도 지키기와 독도 사랑 운동을 뉴스를 비롯한 여러 프로그램을 통해서 지속적으로 펴나갈 것을 약속드립니다.
KBS installed cameras on Dokdo in 2005. Since 2011, it has been staging a campaign to further spread images of Dokdo in Korea and around the world.
Up next, an amazing pianist with a truly inspirational story. Many professional piano players are renowned for their dexterous fingers, but imagine trying to do it all with just one hand. Take a look.
Choi Hae-yeon, a 19-year-old pianist, performs her favorite song, Amazing Grace. It sounds like a usual piano performance, but the way she presses the keys on the keyboard is far from usual. She has no fingers on her right hand, so she uses her right elbow instead. Hae-yeon says music is all she has.
피아노랑 음악이 저한테는 좀 옛날부터 함께 해왔고 그렇게 오랜 시간 함께 해왔기 때문에 제일 중요한 존재인 것 같아요.
Hae-yeon lost her right hand in an accident when she was 3. At one point, she had to quit piano because of the way people looked at her. But after meeting her teacher, her life began to change.
혜연이 처음에 만났을 때를 잊을 수가 없어요. 사실은 그냥 돌려보내려고 했거든요. 근데 혜연이가 처음 와서 치는데 제가 정말 너무 울컥했어요.
Thanks to her teacher's passionate guidance, Hae-yeon has held 2 solo concerts. This pianist hopes that her performances will instill hope in the lives of many people.
Singer Sotaeji, who has just wrapped up his 9th album, will hold small club concerts this coming weekend with an interesting twist. Here's more from the world of show business.
Singer Sotaeji will hold small club concerts for 3 days starting March 13. On the first day, only women will be allowed to watch, and on the second day, only men. But on the final day, the concert will be held for both genders. The singer's agency said that the concerts were organized for Sotaeji fans because they were too sad to say goodbye to the singer wrapping up his 9th album activities. The agency also added that the club concerts would take place in small venues. Singer Lee Moon-se is to release his 15th album on April 7th. Lee Moon-se will release a new album for the first time in 13 years. Its title, New Direction, refers to the singer's new musical endeavors. The album's PR agency said that starting on April 15th, the singer would also hold a concert tour in Seoul, Busan, and other cities. Pop diva Madonna has released her 13th album entitled Rebel Heart. In her interview with Billboard, Madonna said that her new album represents 2 very distinct sides of her personality, the rebellious side and the romantic side.
People are prone to suffer from dry eye syndrome, especially in winter and spring, due to the excessive use of heating appliances and the warmer, drier air. But these days, smartphones have become one of the main culprits of dry eye syndrome.
Heating appliances used during winter often make our skin dry and our bodies dehydrated. This symptom is particularly pronounced in the eyes, which are directly exposed to the outside. Dry eye syndrome refers to discomfort in the eyes caused by a lack of moisture and scratches on the surface of the eye. It's said that 1 out of 3 adults suffers from dry eyes.
이제 오랜 시간 동안 작업을 하거나 아니면 핸드폰으로 뭐 문자를 보내거나 이렇게 보고 있으면은 눈이 진짜 막 머리가 아플 정도로 눈이 너무 아프고 가끔은 진짜 시려서 진짜.
For a more accurate diagnosis, strips of test paper are placed under the eyelids to measure the amount of tears produced over a 5-minute period. If the test strips detect less than 10 millimeters of moisture, dry eye syndrome is suspected.
최근에는 컨택트 렌즈를 장기간 착용하거나 장시간 PC나 스마트폰에 집중해서 봄으로 인해서 안구건조증이 더 악화되는 경향이 있습니다.
Blinking helps keep the eye surface moist. This test compared the blinking frequencies when having a conversation versus when using a smartphone. The results showed that a person blinked only 5 times when using a smartphone, much fewer than when talking to someone.
사람이 집중해서 어떤 일을 할 경우에는 무의식적으로 눈이 깜빡이는 횟수 자체가 줄어듭니다. 그렇게 되면 계속해서 눈이 마른 상태가 지속되면 안구건조증이 유발이 될 수 있죠.
Oftentimes, artificial tears can substitute for the basic substances in real tears. But you still need to exercise some caution.
눈물량 넣는 횟수가 지나치게 많아지면 내 눈에서 분비되는 눈물량이 오히려 줄어들 수가 있습니다. 그래서 가급적이면 하루에 4회에서 6회 이내로 제한해서 사용하시는 편이 눈 건강을 지키는 데 좋겠습니다.
Eyes are among the most important organs in the body, but people tend to neglect them. Don't hesitate to visit a doctor when you feel even the slightest discomfort in your eyes. They're the only 2 you've got.
And now let's take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.